Hello, everyone. Good morning. Rajinder here from Edmonton, Alberta. I just want to welcome you again to another episode of My Business, My Story. So, as I promised, I'm bringing in more successful digital business owners. And today, I have a very dear friend of mine that I've never met in person, but I've been chatting with her. We have Ashton. So for people who have been following my page, they know I'm from Edmonton, Alberta. I have three kids and I do this business on the side. But Ashton will have an interesting story because she used to be a full-time employee, but now she's a full-time digital business owner. So I won't steal more of her spotlight today, and I'll let her introduce herself. Tell us more about who you are, where you're from, and why did you start this digital business? A lot of questions in one go.
Okay, and then if I forget some of your questions, remind me. Hi, everybody. My name is Ashton, and I am from Calgary, Alberta. And like Rajinder said, we've actually never met before. We've been chatting lots online, and thank you so much for asking me to do this interview. I'm super excited. So I am also a digital business owner, and I am a mom of two. I have twins that are 3.5 years old. And I've been in the digital business now since November of last year. So that's been about 10 months. And I actually found the business last July was the first time I saw a post in Facebook. And at the time, I didn't really think too much of it. And I think I read it and just kind of moved along. And then about a month later, I saw another post from was actual coworker of mine at the time. And then when I saw that post, it kind of got me curious about joining the online space. So that was in August, and I signed up for a free webinar and then joined the digital business in November. So I spent a couple months sort of sitting on the fence, asking questions, doing my research, and talking to my super skeptical husband about it. And in November, I joined the digital business. And my husband essentially spent 3 months trying to talk me out of it. He didn't trust it. He was super skeptical, didn't think it was legit, and tried to talk me out of it. But I just had a good feeling about it, and I had to trust my gut. So I became a digital business owner in November.
So how does it feel?
Pardon me?
How does he feel about it?
Oh, his perspective has changed quite a bit, actually. He was always supportive. I guess after I made my final decision, of course, he wanted me to succeed, and he's always been very supportive. But the last few months, things have been going extremely well for me in my business. So it's been nice to kind of see him ask more questions. He's been watching masterminds with me, even going back to previous years and watching masterminds so he can get a better understanding of the business. And what's really funny is he's very much a numbers guy, and he loves numbers and he loves calculations and he loves spreadsheets, and I don't like that at all, actually. I'll post on social media all day, but I don't love that stuff. So he's actually been making me some spreadsheets for tracking purposes and kind of working the numbers on the back end. So he won't admit that he's my business partner. He says he's not, but he's on the way to becoming my business partner.
That's awesome. So when you started, you said like you were skeptical, but when you started, like what was the reason why you actually joined in? What did you like about this business that you're like?
So I actually I went back to work after a 15-month mat leave, and at the time I wasn't 100% sure that I wanted to go back to work. I had worked at the same company for 17 years. I was a flight attendant at an airline here in Canada, and I wasn't 100% sure I wanted to go back to work, but my husband and I were both, I think, afraid that I would make the decision to quit and then regret my decision. So I went back to work, and it was for about a year and a bit that I went back to work. And honestly, I hated it, actually, and I was miserable, and I just wanted to be home with my kids. And so kind of around the same time, we started having a conversation about a real serious conversation, I guess, about me staying home and what that would look like. Was kind of the same time that the business popped up. So the timing is quite funny. And then we actually made the decision in February of this year for me to stay home with the kids. So I quit my job of 17 years on February 19th, which was one day before my kid's third birthday. So now I'm at home with my kids, and I'm doing the business kind of around their schedule, around our schedule, and making it work for my family and I.
Yeah, actually, that was my next question. I'm like, so how does your typical day look like now?
My typical day is chasing my kids around, honestly, and just hanging out with them. But I work on the business when I can, and like I said, when it works for my family. So I've always been an early riser, so I tend to get up before anyone in my house. So sometimes I use that time to work on my business. The kids, some days they nap, some days they do quiet time. They're kind of transitioning out of their nap. So that's another time when I work on my business. And some days I decide to, focus on it for a couple hours, and other days I might not want to do it at all. But there's so much flexibility with having your own business that you can kind of work when you want. And that has really been beneficial for my family.
Yeah, you've been going to the mountains and then camping, and I'm like, okay, it's really living the life.
I think in the summer, I probably not worked on it as much as some other people, because, in Alberta, our summers are really, really short. So we're just trying to get out and enjoy as much time as we can as a family. My husband is home a lot now. He is a pilot, and he actually had about a month after I left my job, he ended up being home for 4.5 months because of COVID and how hard it's hit the airline industry. So he's sort of back to work, not as much as he was, but we're really just trying to take advantage of the fact that both of us are home, with the kids, and just going on adventures and enjoying the time with them at 3.5 years old.
Yeah, this is like a blessing in disguise for you during the COVID period, right?
Yeah, like obviously it's been hard and it's been stressful, and it's a lot of time together that we weren't used to. Some people ask me how I adjusted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I said, well, we just became a stay-at-home family. Just all of a sudden, everybody has been home. So, but it's good. We're making the best out of it, and my business is doing very, very well while we're out having all sorts of fun and adventure. So it's been great.
Yeah, you just hit a major milestone. I think you're on to your next one, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm halfway there, I think. So yeah, it was really exciting to hit my first major milestone. And of course, I'm aiming for the next one and setting goals on how I can achieve that.
So when you started, like, how long did it take you to get set up? Because you have young kids as well, right? Like, is that something that people always worry about? Like, is it complicated? Is it hard?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I think it took me maybe just about a month. Some people do it quicker, some people do it longer. But when my husband was flying full time, he was away half the month. So I didn't really get a lot done when he was away flying, because it's just me with my kids all day long. But when he was home, I was able to focus more time on it. And again, I just kind of worked at it during nap time, in the mornings, in the evenings. The training is set up in a way that you can watch the videos whenever it's convenient for you. The replays are always available. You can start and stop them. So I found it really manageable. And I think, it was about a month or so that I had my business up and running.
Yeah, so how long before you started seeing results?
Oh, very quickly, actually. It was about a month to get it started, and pretty quickly I had people reaching out for info. I had some friends and family asking me what I was up to. It didn't take long at all.
Yeah, so I don't want to keep you for too long. I want to keep it under 10 minutes, but there's so many people out there who think that this is a pyramid scheme, that this is a scam. Like, what would you say to them? Like, I know you have the same questions that come up to you because this is online, right? So how do you convince them that this is not, or do you convince them even?
I don't think I try to do a lot of convincing. I think some people are going to think what they want to think, and that's okay. And honestly, I try not to let those people who send me comments like that bring me down, because and I know it's a legit business. It's changing people's lives. We do our taxes every year. We have online business expenses that we can write off. But I get the skepticism at first. A lot of things on the internet aren't real, but this is, and we're part of an amazing community. And I think last I looked, we have 57,000 people globally. So that's pretty incredible. So like you said, I don't really try to convince people. I do encourage them to do their research, though. And that's not always me giving them all the information. That's watching a webinar, or some people join our community and stuff like that. So I think it's important to do your research. And I did my research too, for those first few months, and got to make the best decision for you, really. Yeah. And it's not for everybody, but it's a great business. Yeah.
Yeah. So since you were a penciler too, like, I think that's your message for them, your due diligence, and then do research, right?
Yeah. And then for me, it really came down to trusting my gut. Something told me that I had to do it. I had friends doing it. Like I said, my coworker was doing it, and she literally sat beside me in my cubicle because I also had I held two positions, so I also worked in the office sometimes. But we were cubicle buddies, and it was hard for me to ignore the results that I was seeing from people that I knew, and just the results in the community. So I had to trust my gut, and I have. The only regret maybe I have is that I didn't start a few months earlier.
Yeah. 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for anybody who's watching right now, I just want to say that you can always watch the webinar. It's free, as Ashton said. This is the best way to get information. Ashton doesn't have her site on her video right now. Did you want to tell them your website if they want to reach out? Or
yeah, sure. It's just www.ashtonkeller.net. You can register there if you want, and you can also, you have your site on the screen there. You can also, yeah, that's good. But mine's just my name, ashtonkeller.net. So you can always register there to watch the webinar, or register on Rajinder's site as well.
Yeah, so reach out, ask for details, because you don't know if this is for you until you find out more information. And it's good to be skeptical. And Ashton is an example of a fence sitter, but she did her due diligence. She found out that this is for her. Follow your gut and learn more about the business, because nothing's going to change until you make the move. So you're not a tree. Move. Make a difference.
Awesome.
But, have a great day, everybody. Happy Friday, and enjoy the weekend. It's long weekend here in Canada. I'm not sure if it's in other parts of the world as well, but we have a long weekend coming up. But I'm sure for Ashton, every day is a long weekend. So that's a lifestyle.
I actually didn't even know it was a long weekend.
There you go. This is the lifestyle we're aiming for. But check it out, reach out to us, send us a message, and learn more about this opportunity. And thank you so much, Ashton, for agreeing to share your journey with us. I'm sure lots of people are going to be inspired. Like, who doesn't want to be at home with their kids, right?
My pleasure. Thanks so much, Rajinder.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day. Bye.